You are now listening to the Happily Ever Banter podcast. Let's go!
All right. We're live. We got some friends in the house. We got Dr. John Bargerstock from KT Wellness. And we have Brandon Backe here, former MLB pitcher, hometown boy. Galveston, right?
Galveston. That's right.
Dang, man.
I'm a BOI.
That's it.
Yeah.
On the island, right?
I'm an island boy.
Dude, you know, hey, it's funny. My other podcast, I actually talked to the Island Boys. They were going to give them a podcast at one time.
Come on.
And
I don't know.
Yeah, they said they'd do it. I don't remember what happened, but they got a little, they were wild anyway.
Yeah.
And they started doing these other videos of them kissing. I was like, I'm out. I'm out.
I'm a different island boy.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit cooler.
Oh, man.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So like I said, we had Dr. John on recently with us.
Mm-hmm. And
then being that we're both patients with Dr. John and you're one of his ambassadors, he wanted to get you on. We can talk about that. I mean, like I said, man, you have a cool background. I mean, coming from here, playing pro baseball, being back, going to hometown, playing for the Astros, that's going to be probably quite a ride.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, as a kid, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. And, you know, when I'm going through college, it didn't really matter what team. I just wanted to go. Yeah. And when I got that call from the Devil Rays at the time, it was time to go play, and I was excited. But nothing beats the moment when I got traded to the Astros, to my hometown team. And,
I'll bet.
And I mean, I got the cake. That was the icing on the cake. And then the sprinkles on top were being able to play with Bagwell and Biggio, man. My idols, dude. It was
That's awesome.
pretty awesome, man.
I still hated y'all when y'all beat the Braves in 04.
Yeah.
I was the big. I mean, I got Chipper Jones bad over there. Chipper was my dude, man. I was a big Braves fan. I watched those series. We lived in Lake Charles, where we're from. We would come every year whenever the Braves and Astros would play.
Mm-hmm.
So we were always here for that.
We were always here, and especially like I wasn't into baseball until we met. But then like we'd be on the couch doing the.
Oh, dude, I tell you, you got to do it.
You got to do it.
I had her going.
The Braves, whatever it is, the chopper. Yeah. Oh my God.
Then she fell in love with Jeff Francoeur. So that.
Oh, I did. Oh my God. I'm probably gonna start blushing because he was so hot.
Frenchie. Yeah.
Yeah, he has some good stories too.
Yeah.
He's been on a lot of podcasts.
I'm sure.
What year did you get drafted?
98.
98. Okay.
Yeah, out of Galveston Junior College.
That's awesome, man.
Yep.
We actually have some. Don't we have some friends? The son that he's going to Galveston right now for college. He was a football player. Oh, not a baseball. He was football. Yeah, he's baseball.
She used to learn her sports.
I know. I'm sorry.
No. I played up to my junior year in high school, and that was it. So, but yeah, man, I had a hell of a ride, man. It was really awesome, and you know, my career got cut short, but in that short period of time, I witnessed a lot. I accomplished a lot, and very thankful. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. So what was that like? I guess you know. So you played Galveston Community College.
That's right. Yes, sir.
So how was that? Like, how did that recruitment process come about from you, like being seen?
Yeah, well, I was seen in high school,
Okay.
mainly because the guys in front of me, the seniors in front of me, were getting looked at, and then I was a freshman on varsity. So every time the seniors and juniors, as I was going through, getting older, they were coming to look at them, and they kept seeing me, and I kept shining in front of them while they were looking at someone else, and that kept their attention to come down there and look at me. And when it was my time to become a senior, and so I got drafted out of high school. It was a draft and follow, 23rd round with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay.
And then went to A&M, signed a scholarship there to A&M.
That's okay anyway.
And yeah, it definitely is. And so I had a cup of coffee there. Unfortunately, I did not apply myself to the books as well as I should have.
Yeah.
So ended up failing and redshirted. Came down here to Galveston Junior College to get my hours back up to where I could be eligible for the following year. And once I did, had a hell of a year down there, All-American. And
you didn't get drafted as a pitcher, though, right? That's what I read?
That's right, yeah. So it's crazy, man. I mean, if we got time, so I'll go ahead and spit some numbers out. I've told this story to many of people, and it's kind of crazy. So I'll never forget these numbers because I wrote them down before the season started. Dick Smith, it was his last year being the head coach there, and he had us come in prior to the season, and he wanted us to write down some goals, right? So I wrote down my goals and ended up hitting them, and it was pretty crazy because I played third base at first because shortstop we had there was pretty darn good, and I was best suited to play third base to start the season, and then either our center fielder just couldn't cut it or he got hurt. I can't remember. He was a Clear Lake boy, and so they moved me out to center field for most of the year from that point on. And anyways, I hit 398, 20 home runs, 78 RBIs, and 58 games. I pitched 26 in the third inning. It had like a 2 ERA. And 4 out of 5 teams wanted me as a pitcher, and I could not believe it. I was very upset, actually. I didn't throw one bullpen. Told the coaches I don't want to throw bullpens. You need me to pitch, I'll pitch.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do all the bullpen stuff. And I pitched a lot in high school. I mean, my junior and senior year, I threw a lot. So I kind of got burned out. But I like pitching. Yeah. I like competing on the mound and being that guy. But I wanted to hit home runs. I wanted to steal bases. I want to dive and throw people out, you know.
Yeah.
That was kind of me.
The sexy stuff.
Right, yeah, you know. So when scouts came talking to me, they were like, well, how do you feel about pitching? I said, I don't want to. The only thing I know about professional pitchers is they run a lot and pitch every 5 days, and I don't want to do that. I want to be out on the field, be the reason why our team won or we lost, one way or the other. I don't want to sit there on the bench for 4 games. And it kind of turned them down. So I lost a lot of money, lost a lot of opportunity to be drafted in the top 10 rounds, but I didn't care. That was my mentality. So ended up getting drafted in the 18th round by Tampa. They're the one team out of 5 that wanted me as a hitter. So I said, where's the line I need to sign? And I signed on that line and took off with $40,000. Never seen that much money before in my life. So I went and played for 3 years as a fielder. I got drafted as a second baseman, which is crazy. I didn't even play one time at second base.
That's why I read that. I was like, man, that's wild.
It's a little weird. The road I took was very windy, but played every position in the minor league except for catcher. I begged them to let me just catch one inning. I go down and catch bullpens. My rookie year, my first season, I go down and catch bullpens when I wasn't playing, just show them I could do it. But yeah, after 3 years, not being very successful as a hitter, converted to a pitcher, and a year and a half later, I was in the big leagues.
I guess those 90-something mile an hour movements a little different in big leagues, huh?
Yeah, and when you're not applying yourself, off the field like you should.
Yeah.
Kind of get in trouble and you don't perform as well as you need to on the field. So there was a couple of times in my life when I talk to kids, A, I tell them about my failure at A&M, and then B, I tell them about my failures off the field as a hitter in my first 3 years as a baseball player. And I tell them that God slapped me across the face with reality, straightened me up, and it took me a year and a half later to get to the big leagues once I did that. So,
wow.
So when you say you didn't really apply yourself off the field, are you saying that you were kind of relying on your natural skill and you weren't trying to build upon your skill?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
There was other things involved that were were in my way.
I got you.
Long, blonde, big, round.
I love her already.
Pretty lips,
Yeah,
Kinda,
sure.
That was it. But
I got you.
But no, I didn't think of it that way. I was single.
Yeah.
And out, away from home, and just living life.
You were doing what a 20-something.
But I wasn't living baseball life the way I should.
I got you.
Off the field, right? If I was going to apply myself the way I should to become the best baseball player I could be, I was not doing that.
Yeah.
And that sometimes you got to do it the wrong way to learn the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's most of the time, right?
I often say when a lot of these early young superstars come out, and then 3-4 years later you see them kind of taper off a little bit, I'm like, oh yeah, they got married, right? That's probably what happened. And they started focusing on other things.
they you jump into the fast life though.
Yeah.
And things are getting thrown at you.
But for you, it was the opposite for you though.
Yeah, well, and that goes back to the time I signed for $40,000, man. Once that second time I got slapped across the face with reality, You know, a year and a half later, I was in the big leagues. I passed up guys that signed for $10 million out of high school.
Yeah.
You know, and they were 6'4" and throwing just as hard as I was.
Right.
But
luckily, you had a second chance at it, though.
Well, that's it. Yeah. I mean, I applied myself. Actually, it was my third chance.
Really?
Going back to failing at A&M.
Yeah.
So I didn't like striking out, no pun intended. So I was going to apply myself finally, and I did. And I still had 95, 96, and I relearned to throw the curveball and slider, and passed up all those guys that were made to be pitchers.
Yeah, no kid. You got been pitching your whole life.
Yeah.
So before we get to the later part, so how was your, I guess, your health and well-being and recovery during those times, like, or was that even a thought to your mind, you know, as far as keeping your arm and body in shape the right way?
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot once I got to the big leagues, and I learned a hell of a lot when I got here to the Astros. You know, I was a thrower. When I got converted to be a pitcher, I had a really good arm. And you know, when I was with Tampa Bay, I was throwing anywhere between 95, 98 miles an hour, and doing well in the minor leagues for sure. When I got to the big leagues, that kind of the nerves and throwing hard doesn't really work too well. So you got to figure out how to pitch.
Yeah.
You know, manipulate the baseball and study. You got to learn these hitters and what their tendencies are, what they're capable of doing, and on any given day, they could be struggling against a curveball, or they could be struggling against a fastball inside. That's why we have scouts that go out and scout them before we face them.
Yeah.
So we have a scouting report every time we face a new team, what they've been doing, what their tendencies are. And I didn't really learn that until I got to the Astros. It was a different world than when it was with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the time. So watching guys like Roger Clemens and Andy Pettit go about their business.
You had some veterans by then. These guys,
man, I mean,
professional as you can be.
Yeah. And then on the other side of the plate, you got Bagwell and Biggio, who I idled. I watched them more than anything.
Jeff Kent.
Yep, Kent was there for the first year, but if I have to narrow it down to one guy, it was Roger Clemens. I watched him. I was intimidated because he's an intimidating man.
He's a big guy too.
Yep. But I didn't want to bother him. I didn't want to go ask him questions and bug him. He was kind of a stay to himself kind of guy as well. But I would just watch him. I'd watch him what he did in the gym. I'd watch him what he did walking across the clubhouse. I'd go watch his bullpens and just wouldn't say anything. Just stand there and watch what he's doing. And you know, he really. I'd go down to bullpens I was when I was a starter. You know, you pitch on day one, let's just say, and then on day 3 you throw a bullpen. And hell, that's 2 days after you threw 100 pitches in a game, stressful, and you're pretty sore. I'll go down there and I'm throwing 95, and the catcher's just going all over the place. Okay, like I mean,
thumbing him.
I'm wearing that catcher out. Okay, and I go down there and watch him throw, and he was throwing 95, 94 at 40 years old and in games, but in the bullpen, he's throwing 85, 84, just playing catch, man. And that catcher is drinking coffee and while he's catching this bullpen, and I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. The ball just kept going right where he wanted it to go. And I finally asked him one time, I said, I mustered up the nerve and said, hey, man, why are you throwing so slow in your bullpens? You know, I've always been taught you practice how you play, right? No. And he meant it to me. He said, man, I'm just worried about my body, staying in sync. Upper half's got to do something. Your arms, your hands, everything. Your lower body's got to do something, and both of those, both parts of those body have to match up at one time. Yeah. Right? They got to be on time.
Muscle members got to be right.
Yep. So you got to move your body. Your lower and upper body got to move in the way they're supposed to on time, and that's why the ball goes accurate. Huh. Damn, that makes sense. I guess so. You don't just grab the ball and look one way and just throw it there and hope it goes?
Yeah.
No, okay. Yeah.
I'm just trying to throw it through the catcher.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm practicing hard. Yeah, so I learned a lot, man. I learned to be a professional. I learned to be a pitcher, not a thrower.
Well, that made different. Look how long of the careers they both had. I mean, these guys had crazy careers.
And I wonder who they learned from. I never asked them, but that would be one of my questions. Next time I see them, man, who'd you learn from?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they may have been the same way. If somebody showed them.
All of it gets passed down.
Yeah.
But then you learn. You take you take information from older people, right? And then you try to take that information from each one that you learn from, and you apply it to yourself and how you can make it happen, right? Mm-hmm. It's never exact.
Yeah.
But learning information from as many people as you can, and just listening and trying what they say, is how you get better. How you hone yourself in to be the best you can be.
So was it tough during those times, being that obviously they went through the steroid era and all this stuff? Was it tough to be? You can't just take certain things. Mm-hmm. You got to watch put in your body. There's all these different things. Like, how was that with trying to maintain, your body and your throwing arm without hurting yourself or?
Yeah.
How did that work for you guys back then?
Well, you just kind of figured you could tell some of the guys that were just going berserk on it, Yeah. And I'll be honest, there was a time in the minor leagues when I thought about it. I was like, man, I was always a fit guy. I was strong. Mm-hmm. But what if I get stronger, and whatnot. So I thought about it, but that's all it came down to. I never actually did it. What came to my mind is that if I do it and I make it, it's because of that, right?
Yeah.
I want it to be. If I make it or don't make it, I did it my way. I did it on me, and so I never got to that. But you try to eat as best you can. Hell, in the minor leagues, it's the lower levels. It's peanut butter and jelly and ham sandwiches. You're lucky if you get
Frito pies. Don't forget the Frito pie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've had buddies the same way. They went through that. They do this. Like, we eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all day long. Like, that's what got us through.
I mean, I'm telling you, but you just like I said, those coaches, they're all ex-players. They know how to help you grind through the marathon of a season that baseball is, and you just got to figure out a way. Milk or protein shakes were big back then. Hell, I had a George Foreman grill. Yeah, I carry with me to the to the Motel 8 that we stayed in, and go and eat chicken. Just whatever you can do.
Yeah.
So, are you guys saying that peanut butter and jelly isn't healthy?
No, it is.
Hey, at that age, you should eat calories, man.
It is, yeah.
I mean, much you're probably burning too. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah. I had wheat bread.
Yeah, okay. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
So
2 parts peanut butter, 1 part jelly.
That's right.
So how was it during? I mean, like I said, when you got to the pros, dude, like 162 games, travel. That's got to be tough.
It's very tough
with maintaining. Throwing your bullpens, doing all the stuff to keep your arm right. I know you had a Tommy John surgery.
I did.
1 year.
Yep.
Was there anything caused that, you think, or just from the years of throwing, or just kind of?
Just it happened on one pitch, man. And it wasn't a curveball, it was a fastball. I don't know why. It just did. It just went out. But I felt pretty good the year before. I think in the World Series, I might have hurt it. It's the ligament that tears. And I think in the World Series, I might have frayed it a little bit because after the World Series game, I was pretty sore in the elbow, much more sore than I normally was in a particular spot, right? And, well, I got 3 months to recover, so I didn't really worry about it. And went back to spring training that following year and felt decent, didn't feel bad, didn't have any problems. I hardly ever iced my arm. I just kind of was that guy. I didn't really care. I got 4 days to recover. If I can't recover in 4 days without ice, then there's something wrong with me. That's kind of how I felt. Just masking the pain, really. I mean, all you're doing is from my understanding, all ice does is help reduce the swelling. It doesn't cure any destruction you have done to your elbow,
tendons
right?
or ligaments.
Right. So I'm going to listen to my body more than I am mask it with the ice.
So now there's a lot more science about the ice baths and why people do that, and supposedly it certainly helps with inflammation. And I think I recall reading something about it helps activate the growth factors, which helps in the healing process. And I think that's the newest science behind it. You know, back
Well, if I would have known that
20 years
ice
ago,
myself.
we knew it kind of felt pretty good, right? But we didn't know then what we know now.
Well, you got to think that the knowledge and the data is way different nowadays.
Yeah, I'm really old.
And the like, I'm sure just how the trainers, how they interact with the players and how they work on their bodies has got to be different.
Oh yeah, last time I was in the clubhouse, it just felt different. Things were different. The kitchen was different. The food was different.
No peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, no. Well, even the big leagues, it was just completely different. So they've upped their game for sure, and it just it's where the game should be. Much nicer and more accommodable as far as health is concerned.
Oh, I bet. Well, that's the biggest thing. They want, and they're signing these guys 10-year contracts. They want to preserve them.
That's right. They better be. Better get the best of the best.
That guaranteed money.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
When was your last year with the Astros?
2009.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yep.
Not that long ago.
Yeah, I do. I remember. I'm from Louisiana, and we knew about you. We knew that, especially because it was a story about, hey, hometown guys here, and obviously I seen you pitch against other teams. Like I said, my best friend was an Astros fan. I was a Braves fan, so like that was our biggest. That was our rival our whole life. You know? So I remember watching those games and seeing Berkman or Carlos Beltran, somebody wrecking my dreams.
Yeah.
Dude,
They were beasts at the plate, man.
Did you have any? What was your batting like whenever you could bat? Then
Yeah.
you have any dingers?
I hit 4 home runs in my career. All of them here at Minute Maid. I'm actually the first Astros pitcher to ever hit a home run at Minute Maid.
Oh, cool.
So I've got that on my
fun
belt.
fact,
That's a pretty fun fact, right?
And you got the ball still, right?
Hey, if I'm on trivia game, that comes up. I got it now.
Yeah. So and I'm actually considered top 30 best hitting pitchers of all time.
Behind Mike Hampton, I'm sure.
Mike Hampton is one of that's ahead of me. Yes, but yeah, I'm on that list, man. 259 hitter, and I stole a base against Greg Maddux.
Dang.
Nice.
So got a base hit and stole second.
Nobody was anticipating you to steal a base.
Hit a couple
right?
triples. Pitchers don't hit triples. I'm proud of those too.
No
boy.
kid, dude.
Yeah.
Well, it shows you're an athlete. I mean, at the end of the day, that's
I pinch ran a lot. Bill Garner used me as a pinch runner. I was an athlete, man. I was pretty fast.
you were a tool player, but a pitcher. I mean,
I was a hitter that could pitch.
Okay.
I was a hitter that could throw well off a mound.
Okay. Yeah.
I like to keep the pitch or pitcher out of my vocabulary because,
I remember, like I said, going back in those days watching the Braves play. Mike Hampton taking bat practice. He's hitting him over the top of the tracks. This dude, he wasn't a big guy either.
No,
he could
was
rake.
not. Yeah. I got a couple up there too for batting practice.
Really?
So,
yeah. That's awesome.
I could never get center field though, and that was 436 or something.
You were there when they had that crazy thing in center field too, right?
Yeah, Towles Hill.
Towles Hill.
Dude.
Yeah.
I
I get to the bottom of the hill, but I could never get it over them fence, man. I would try my butt off too.
That's deep right there.
Oh yeah, 436. That's tough.
Altuve does it like nothing.
Yeah.
Speaking of moving around, like he's moving to left field. I seen that.
Yep.
That's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
Is that official?
like BGO did the same thing. I mean, he moved.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a catcher when he started with the second.
Good point. Everybody forgets he was a catcher.
I don't know if it's official. He's taking fly balls right now.
Right.
So
A lot of them.
yeah, I mean, and I don't know how much, how many games he'll play. The best thing is they get Jordan off the field.
Yeah.
We need him to just concentrate on hitting.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Just
Good
see
point.
ball and hit it, dude. Don't do nothing else. Just mash,
Correct, dude.
please. Just don't even have a glove.
So, how much do you follow pro baseball since you've been out of it?
I watch it. The Astros, man. I was a fan first, right? I grew up in Galveston, so I used to listen to it on the radio. But yeah, I watch them fairly religiously, I would say. I don't keep up with the minor leagues or anything like that, but I watch and critique them, and when the pitcher's doing bad, I was like, I could have done better. Of course.
I do that. I didn't play pro baseball.
But yeah, no, I watch these guys, and if I still do some things for the Astros. I do appearances here and there, and I'm doing one next week. And
I know you do these. You do those camps down here. You still do those?
Every now and then, whatever they ask me to do. I'm a local guy. I'm always around and usually available. So yeah, whenever I'm around the other players, some of the younger players, I do you know me? Is the first question I ask them. Hey, I used to play, and just
like I struck Babe Ruth out.
Ask them some, Twice. And I would just share some things like, hey man, I saw you pitching the other day. It looked like you were falling off the mound. You got to stay towards your target. And I hope they respect that. I hope they don't take offense to it. But it's my duty. It's in me now. I coach. I coach my kid, and I try to critique these other guys that are on the TV, and that's really what I'm doing now that I'm older and out of the game. Mm-hmm. I really pay attention to things that I didn't when I was younger and playing. I'm really taking attention to the finer details of how the pitcher's pitching, what his mechanics are doing, watching the hitter, how I would pitch the hitter with what I'm seeing out of the hitter while the at-bat's happening. Really, like, zeroing in on fine details as the game's being pitch by pitch.
Well, you'll see these other teams, they'll throw a kid 100 pitches. Like, you're like, it's crazy. You got these kids trying to throw hooks at
the kids
9 years old.
Yeah, our kids that were, yeah.
And I'm saying your past, you being a pitcher, I mean, you definitely have a lot to instill in these young kids.
Sure.
To really show them. One, like I say, you talk about your failures. Like, so this is something that all these kids can hear.
Yeah.
And that you still reach the pinnacle as far as the show. That's a big deal.
Yeah, there was a couple times in the fall I would have practices at my house, and we would watch videos, just sit them in the backyard and watch videos, and then I'd actually have an easel with a dry erase board and have a field. I got a field taped out and just showing them where they belong with a ball hit to the gap with a man on first, where everybody belongs. So they get a visual of what they're supposed to do. Just try to implement, classroom learning versus just always on the field and yelling at them when they're not in the right position. Mm-hmm. So I try to utilize that in the fall. We need more reps in the spring.
Yeah.
There's much more important tournaments, but I don't know if other coaches are doing that, but it's just something that hit me, and I just wanted to try to implement it in my coaching.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, yeah, like they can say this coach don't know his shit. Right.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're still parents have to say that, but like I said, it's one of those things. At least you have the background and the pedigree. You're like, hey man, I've done this at the highest level.
You'd be surprised at how much that really doesn't matter to some of these people.
I get it, bro.
It's crazy, dude. And not that should just be the end all. I do need to prove that I know.
Yeah, I don't mean you know all the answers, but
yeah. I just see the game a whole lot different than a lot of other people. I do. It's just because I'm natural at it. I watch tens of thousands of games, and I sat next to some of the greatest players of all time, and my conversations that I had with them, watching the game, is carried over to what I'm doing now. Just like I said, watching these games on TV, I'm critiquing so much that's helping me become a better coach. But with 10 and 11-year-olds now, it's hard to translate that. It's like trying to teach them calculus when all they've done is learn division of fragments, or whatever, So
and they see a lot of these flashy guys. Like you see a lot of kids trying to be Ellie De La Cruz.
Oh God!
They don't realize he had the most errors last year.
Yeah, right. That one play though that he did, he looked cool.
Hey, trust me, I see the same stuff with my sons in basketball. Yeah. They try to do all the stuff. I'm like, hey man.
Fundamentals is boring.
Watch the Spurs.
Yes.
Fundamental, bro.
Yes.
Like, them guys will wear you out because they know where to be. They know where to move to. They know everything's fundamental.
Watch videos, Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Go watch that guy play.
And just listening to you and getting to know you a little bit, it's easy to figure out who has a passion for their profession. And that makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many... I think about my own profession. How many doctors have you ran into that are just kind of going through the motions, don't seem like they really give a shit?
It's just transactional. Yeah.
They just went to medical school because it was a good paying job. Mm-hmm. But they're just really, you don't feel that passion come out of them, but you can see that with these professionals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're one of those,
For sure. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I do. I love baseball.
Yeah, you've got, I think,
love baseball to death, man.
I mean, it's not work when you're passionate about it.
Right. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It's just your hobby that you love, and you can teach it.
What do you think is the biggest misconception with professional athletes with like the health and wellness side of it? Like, since you've been through that, what do you think that's something that's people assume that you guys dealt with or struggled with back then, especially during those days with the knowledge and data is not there?
Well, I think that's the biggest thing is the knowledge, right? Someone coming in and actually pointing out, the goods and the bads of certain foods, certain drinks, right? These energy drinks that are loaded with sugar, right? That's nothing but a good time for about 30 minutes after you drink it, and then you feel like crap, right? And your body fat's going up after a year or so because you're drinking energy drinks day after day.
And red dye number 5.
That too, exactly. So I think the knowledge, the education of the ingredients that you're taking in, how they could benefit you and how they can hurt you is probably what these kids are getting, or I say kids, what these players are getting these days versus what we did not get back then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I try to eat as healthy as I could. I mean, it's understandable that eating fast food burger over George Foreman grilled chicken, that's going to be a little bit healthier for me, but it doesn't taste that good, right?
Yeah.
It's just,
I'm sure a lot of people think you guys are just fine-tuned machines, but like I said, there's a lot of work that's got to go into that too. It's not like you're just a professional athlete. Like, dude, I ain't got to work at it or whatever. Besides
the nutrition side of things, I mean, one thing I also learned from Roger Clemens was the day you pitch is your off day. That's the day you have fun. The other 4 days is work.
Yeah.
You're working yourself to get yourself back into your body, back into peak performance for that day that you have to go perform. Yeah. Right. So you got I'd run 4 miles in 30 minutes, and then work out, and then I mean it was a 2.5 hour workout or process per day on the days that I wasn't pitching, and it got less. My workload got less and less as it came up closer to the day that I pitched. But doing that every day after day after you pitch, it's tough, man. It's tough when sometimes you want to take off, but you just got to go do it because your body needs that. We're talking, running gets the lactic acid out of your joints, right? Your shoulder and your elbow, so you can recover within that 5 days coming up the next time you pitch, so that your arm feels loose and free, and you don't, you're pitching at your best ability for you and for your teammates. You owe it to your teammates to get your ass up and go run. Yeah. I mean, do whatever it takes to get your body back. But I wish I would have been more knowledgeable about nutrition more than anything. I was a workhorse. I was a gym rat. I was always in the gym. You didn't have to worry about me, getting my exercise in. But I didn't eat the best, and I didn't, alcohol. I kept myself to a minimum, but there'd be days I go out there and let it rip, man. Especially if I had a bad game, something's got to go right.
Yeah, got to shake this.
Yeah, gotta forget this. Somehow, some way. Yeah.
So how did you guys? I know you're ambassador for John. So how did that come about for you guys to get into this part of it?
So some friends of mine that are dads on the team that I coach introduced me to him. So I gave John a call, and we sat down and talked, and he mentioned that he wanted me to just kind of help him get his brand out there, and I told him absolutely I would, whatever it takes. The first thing I've never had any testosterone or really any supplements that I've ever taken, so I was a little nervous. I wanted him to educate me on it. But also, right before this happened, I had knee surgery, and the doctor I went to did my labs, took my test results, and I wanted to know what my testosterone level was at, because I had my kids and being a dad and all that. Just, man, I had the dad bod going on, and just
life, man.
And so come to find out, my testosterone levels were sub 300. Oh. So I was like, man, he's like, you're okay. You're in between. You're supposed to be between 300 and 800. You're not that bad. I ain't a bare minimum kind of guy, buddy. Yeah. So I'm about 500 off. Yeah, is what I'm thinking, and it's like, so then it just kind of all fell in play, man. Like that happened, and then a year later, I meet these guys who want me to coach their kids. They know him, and they want, we start talking, and I meet up with John, and like I said, we had a talk. He educated me on it, and I put all my trust in him to get me right, so to speak. And I don't need to go overboard on becoming some musclehead or anything like that. I just want my levels back to where they should be, and where they can be. And he's helped me out tremendously, man. I'll tell you that. It's been.
So what's been the biggest thing? Like, how long have you been on TRT now?
So just over a year.
Yeah.
Probably about maybe 14 months.
What's been your success with it? What do you think's been the best thing?
Man, I'll tell you what. For the 5 years prior, I'd say going back 5 years prior, where I started really feeling lethargic, going home after work, just not wanting to do anything. Just lifting weights was not even part of it because it would hurt my shoulders. I had knee issues. So I was defeated mentally because of how my body was feeling, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get over that. Right, like just dang, if I work out, my shoulder's just going to hurt worse. So why even work out? It's going to get sore, and John discussed to me that getting levels up will absolutely, first and foremost, energize me. Which it has tremendously, right? So I think the biggest thing is energy. Getting through the day of work, I come home, and the first thing I do when I get home, I change my clothes, and I get into my workout gear. I go in the garage, and I work my ass off for about an hour and 15 minutes. That's all I usually do. But I put the work in, and it took me a little bit of time to get over the soreness, especially in my shoulder. But the energy of constantly wanting to go out there, back out there, keep doing it over and over has gotten me past the point. I still hurt, but I feel better.
Yeah.
I've gotten stronger, obviously, with the working out. I've lost a lot of body fat. I think when I first started with John, I was pushing 240 and about 22% body fat. I'm now 220, 222, and about 13% body fat. So I've lost.
It's just body composition change, the weight.
Yeah, and with that, I feel confident, right?
Yeah.
I mean, every day I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, them man boobs now are chest again. Holy cow, and
You're welcome.
yes, thank you. So,
Yes, thank you.
but it's the level that he's put me on has, I think, maximized myself to want to get better. I've always wanted to, but it's pushed me to get my ass out there and go do it, right? To want to go play with my kids, to be the coach that I am to the team that I coach, and to have that energy, to have that level of energy of man, this coach is hard, but I still like playing for him. He's not just a lazy, monotonous jackass. I'm out there, try to keep it fun for the kids. Sometimes I put my baseball pants on and cleats and practice with them, just show them, I still got it. I can't throw, but, but I can move, and I think along with that, my knee has gotten better.
Yeah, I remember you saying you couldn't even bend your knee 90 degrees
And look at me
initially.
now.
Yeah, and you got full range of motion now.
But like I
which
said,
is amazing.
the not working out thing like that, like I said, it can affect your mental health too.
Absolutely.
Because you get down on yourself.
Frustrated.
Then you just have a pity party of it on yourself.
That's it.
And then you kind of stop. So I was the same way. I've been a patient for almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
And I was the same way. I was like, wasn't feeling the gym. I was going through the motions. And then I finally went and checked it out.
Yeah,
And
I can't recall. How did you hear about us? I can't remember.
I had a buddy, my buddy Mike. I told you about that.
Okay.
Somehow it was connected. Somehow that's how I got
Right.
your information.
Okay.
But yeah. So I was hesitant too because I was like, man, I've done plenty of tests and stuff back in the days illegally. I was like, I've never did it to where like, okay, this is the thing that
Therapeutic.
we're going, therapeutic, or we'll be doing it the right way and forever, obviously.
Right.
And so that really did help sparked that for me. And then the biggest thing I tell people is like, man, for me is the maintaining muscle mass as I'm getting older. Like it's a big thing for longevity and everything, you know.
And my wife likes it too.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's just it's what it is, man. I mean, I just feel great, dude. I mean, mentally, emotionally, you know, I feel great. I feel like my normal self.
That's a good way to put it. I often tell the guys, you know, we're just trying to get you back to feeling your good old self again. You know?
That's it. I don't feel like the 25-year-old that was stepping on the mound at Minute Maid, but mentally I feel great. I feel good. I wake up. I want to get the day started, and then I make sure that working out is in my regimen. Every day I've got to work out. I've got to go do something. I don't care if it's 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. I tried to work out just now, right before I got here, and it was too dang cold. I got me about three reps in, or 3 sets in, and out of 6, and I was like, I can't feel my fingers anymore. I'm done. But at least I did something, you know. And but I think just, you know, mind, body, and soul, man. I just feel 100 times better, to be quite honest with you, than I did 3-4 years ago. I was, you know, kind of in the dump, so to speak. No one ever saw it, but internally I knew it. The person I was looking at in the mirror is not the person I'm looking at today. Yeah. It just really isn't. It's just, it was a much sadder individual that was in the mirror 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that feel that way. Normal, like the, you know, regular Joes, you'd say it, especially being a former pro athlete. Mm-hmm. That really makes you see old clips of yourself, you're like, God dang, that used to be me, you know. I'm sure that kind of stuff goes through your mind as well.
Well, and you know, I think psychologically or mentally, this has helped me, you know. So I'm not going to get into my injury and how it occurred, but you know, it was devastating to me. It was I'm not a guy that would ever, you know, be in the dumps or whatever, but I was. I mean, I was pretty bad off for a little while, and when I first had my first child, it kind of got me out of the funk. Right, I had something to live for. I wasn't thinking about killing myself by any means, but I had something to live for. I had something to do. Something I needed to get up and do something.
We want to have a purpose,
right?
And it's more evident as we get a little bit older. We want to have a purpose, and at the same time, we want to be able to do it. We want to be able to do whatever our purpose is, right? Mm-hmm. And that starts to weigh in on you when you start having these symptoms of, you know, afternoon fatigue, and you're gaining some weight, and you're not performing like you once used to, and all those things start to stack up, and this just kind of gives you a new purpose. You know, it kind of rejuvenates your ability to say, man, I do have a purpose, and I know I can go through the day and make it happen.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she recently went through that about a year ago, and she started doing it. Just a low dose for women, and like I said, she could tell the difference as far as like she does CrossFit. We work out, but you know, you're getting older, dude. Everything just kind of starts.
She's like,
everything starts going declining. But like I said, that it's a part of the thing that it can. It's for men and women. You know what I'm saying? It's for everybody. It's longevity. It's wellness. It's mental health. It affects all that.
Liquid motivation, man.
Yeah.
Liquid motivation.
Yeah.
Is really what it is. It's it has inspired me to be, you know, to get in the gym. I mean, the physicality things are there, but it's also inspired me to want to be with my kids and play with them and get up and do stuff, you know, and be better at work. Right, I'm quicker on my mind, so I feel young again, so to speak. You know, I feel like the younger version of me, at least mentally for sure. You know, there's parts of my body that'll never feel young again, but I definitely feel young again. I feel healthy, and it's. With that said, my everything involved in my life has gotten better.
Your outlook has changed, basically.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I know John's got these that Essentials, the bioregulator peptides. Have you done any of that? Because like I said, that kind of I've done some other peptides as well through John, and I've had issues with plantar fasciitis in my left heel, and then my knee problems, and like that's really helped out a lot.
Yeah, so I took peptides for about 3 months, and I think that along with the test actually helped me get over when I was doing that, I believe it helped me with my knee, but I also was doing the what was it for the swelling?
Oh, you were doing that injection?
Yeah.
The glutathione?
Yes.
Yeah. One of the and we we do some amino acid stacks as well, but glutathione is often sought out for aches and pains and joint pain and what have you. So
I stopped doing that just because I feel much better, but I think inevitably that helped me out tremendously. So right now I'm just on the testosterone. I didn't do the peptides anymore, but I do feel like I lost most of my weight while I was stacking the peptides.
Sure.
But I think I've gotten to the point where I can stay steady with my workout, and I don't really necessarily need it, even though I wouldn't mind doing it again. But the Essentials has come up, and I think we're going to start that here pretty soon, and just try to get a look at what that can do for me as well.
Yeah, all the science behind that is so promising, and we've seen the hard data, the objective data, and know what these are capable of doing, and so we're like we struggled in the testosterone industry years ago. Not a lot of people knew that this can be done therapeutically, and without ever having to stop or cycle off. And now we're just working at getting the word out for Essentials Health for those peptides. Those are bioregulator peptides, and educating people, and that's always the biggest challenge when you've got something new coming up, and having people understand what they are and what they do. So we're on that venture now. Well,
I mean, we're at the right age for all of our friends around the same age, customers. They see you at a pep in your step. Like I'm always talking about. I've sent Dr. John plenty of people over the years, just from people asking questions, or I'll bring it up to say, hey man, this is what I'm doing. It feel good. You need to go see about it. I'm sure there's a lot of athletes that's retired as well that doing the same kind of stuff to try to.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, none of them really live around here, but but yeah, I tell them. I just went to the gala last November.
Astros wives gala.
Astros gala, and a lot of the guys they noticed. I mean, I'm in a suit, but I still was in shape, thinner face, and I told them, I lost 20 pounds. It's just I feel good again. So, and John, John well enough, and your personality helps out tremendously. You're easy to talk to. You're honest man, and it's you're educated on what you're selling and what you're providing, and that makes it a lot easier, because I was nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody sticking you with a needle ain't always something that you really want. You know what I mean? And you want to make sure they know what they're doing, and what's going in you is legit, right? Not just off the shelf from across the border or whatever. So
yeah,
this is this is legit stuff. This is the real deal. And
we use Bertolli olive oil. That's
it.
That's what we're injecting. Yeah.
Placebo, huh?
Yeah.
But
this has all been a big joke, Brandon.
I'm going to Kroger right now.
You had it in you, man.
Yeah.
Extra virgin though.
Yeah.
But it's the same way. Like I've sent plenty of people from him that I've had other friends that went to somewhere else and didn't feel like they were getting. I was like, hey man, you need to go see my guy. He's well versed. He knows about it. Like I said, it's more tailored there. They really care about the patients, and they've all had good reports. They can see a difference.
And you could go to him and tell him what you want, right? Like you could go as high as you want or as low as you want, and he's going to tell you the truth. I think you need to be around here, and he's going to guide you in the right direction of where you need to be, and that's the biggest thing. That got me over the not wanting to do it, or the nervousness of even trying it out. So.
Yeah, and I think too, what's important for a lot of people to know, particularly guys who are thinking about doing this or haven't done it yet for whatever reason, there are there are some places that do this very well, and there are some places who are really shitty at it.
Wild West.
And so, but if you go to your doctor, they'll tell you, they'll give you 100 milligrams a week or 200 milligrams every 2 weeks and say, okay, that's going to be good for you, and, get your levels up to 500 and say, oh, man, you're doing great. But what patients don't realize is that everybody's different. If we were both, needing to inject insulin every day, would we be on the same dose of insulin? No way. And so we really take a tailored approach to the individual, because you may be doing great at levels of 900, and this other guy over here might need 1200 to feel great, or 700 to feel great. So we really individualize it as it should be, because we're chasing a clinical outcome. We're not chasing a number. And I think that gets lost a lot with the people in our industry, and it gets lost in your doctor's office when they go over your thyroid levels. Oh, your number's within range, you must be feeling great. Well, not necessarily. So I think that's important for the guys to know who are thinking about starting something like this, is that try to find somebody that's willing to tailor it to your specific outcome needs. I have guys that don't have any libido issues, and that's not why they're coming in. And I've got other guys that's all they care about is their libido. So you've got to understand what it is they're here for. What were the symptoms that they were originally complaining about? Address that. That's why they're there. They're not there to get their test levels up to 600, because what does that mean? Well, it means nothing unless you match it up to how they're feeling.
Well, I think that's what, as far as I'm concerned, when I'm talking to you, you and I have a rapport where we can sit there and bullshit and talk to each other, and I can be honest with you and tell you exactly what I want. I'm not trying to be some big bodybuilder by no means, but I've always been in a shape guy, and shoot, man, as of 2 years ago and the 3 years prior to that, I was not. I was in shape for a dad, a dad body, but but yeah, man, I just I can appreciate the effort that you put in. I'm sure with not only me, but I'm sure with all your customers and clients, and I think that sets you apart from a lot of other places, I'm sure. And the time that you put in, the effort that you put in per individual that comes in there to make sure that they get what they need out of all this, and I thank you for that. And what we were talking about, there's a lot of people out there that are just like myself who are nervous about it. It's understandable, but I would say go ahead and get over that nervousness and come in and see him, because it's changed my life tremendously for the better. From everybody around me, my kids, my wife, everybody is, I'm a happy person now. I'm not such an irritated individual or a reserved person, because I'm more confident, right? I'm a little bit more outgoing and feel good.
That's it. When we lose our purpose, we can get frustrated with things and, easily get irritated. And people underestimate how just normal levels of testosterone will completely level out your mood. I get a lot of guys that come in and they're demanding with whatever their insurance issues are with that they're going to be using to pay, and they're just assholes, some of them, and I always have to tell my staff, hey, give them a few weeks, and they'll level out just like a big teddy bear.
Well, hormones are a big deal, man. Hormones
it is a big
affect
deal.
a lot.
It is a big deal. So the old dog on the front porch that's 12 years old he'll bite you if you poke him just right, and we're no different, and so, but if you were able to reverse that dog's hormone levels, he'd probably be a big old cuddly bear again, like he was. But it's real, and it can make a big impact on just your overall sense of wellness and mood, and people like you again at some point.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Anybody that's out there that thinks about, I'm feeling lethargic, right? I think that's the biggest thing. Is just the lethargic feeling that has gone away from me. I don't feel lethargic anymore. Now, I get tired because I work my ass off, right? Because I got a lot of energy now.
And you're chasing 11-year-olds around.
Yeah, for sure. Yelling at them, So, I expend my energy, but I'm expending it because I've got it.
You're able to, yeah.
Right. I'm not tired because I'm fucking lazy.
Yeah.
I'm tired because I'm actually working hard and wearing myself out and tiring myself because I'm energized. And I wake up and ready to do it again, you know. So it's just it's a different tired versus being lethargic and lazy and blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's a great word, blah.
I went through the same stuff.
We all know what that means, right?
Well, hey, that's what I look like in the mirror, blah.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get rid of my dad bod, and I don't even have kids, you know.
They're swimming still.
Yeah. There you go. At least a couple of them, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have you a kid, man. It's good. You're a good age to have your first kid.
Yeah, right.
They'll make you lose your hair, buddy.
Yeah. Exactly. Must be all my kids I don't know about then.
Yeah.
But it just goes back to what you're saying about passionate. Like I said, when I met Dr. John the first time, started talking to him, you obviously seen that he cared, and that like I said, yeah, it was easy to talk to. Man, we go in there like we just shoot the shit, talk about whatever. Obviously, we talk about how I'm feeling and things like that. But it's just like it's family when you go in there.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody in there. They know me. It's like, you know, you go in, they say, "Hey, Brandon," like,
yeah,
whatever.
The girls are nice, man.
Yeah,
they're crazy nice. It's
not like going to a doctor's office. That's what I tell people.
No, it's like going into a social club, so to speak. You know, you just go, "Hey, how's it going?" No, going good. Good to see you.
Where everybody knows your name.
Yeah,
no doubt, man. But that's a big thing to put people at ease.
Oh yeah.
It's not like you're going in. You're in a waiting room 30 minutes waiting to see a doctor. Like it's more lax there. Like just it's a better vibe versus what you. Yeah,
it's so uncomfortable when I come into the clinic sometimes and there's 2 or 3 guys waiting in the waiting room and they're all looking down, staring at their phone, and you know I got to go out there and break the ice and say, "Hey man, hey, you guys can talk to one another. You know, it's all right. Y'all here for the same thing."
Yeah, compare y'all's levels, man.
That's right. And lo and behold, eventually they'll all start talking if they sit out there long enough. But yeah, it's kind of a funny vibe in the clinic sometimes.
Yeah. So who's your toughest hitter to face?
Well, it's not the ones you would think, but Michael Young was my toughest.
No kidding. He was scrappy, man.
Him and David Eckstein.
Both of those guys.
Yeah.
Eckstein, yeah. I remember David Eckstein.
So there's
Cardinals.
a funny story about that. You know, I started my career with Tampa Bay, so I was there as a relief pitcher in 2002 and 2003, and then I got traded over here in late 2003 after the season. So basically the 2004 season. And we were National League at the time, but we're playing the Rangers for the boot still, and we have meetings. Like I said, every time a new team comes in for a series, we go over the hitters. We have catchers meeting, right? We go over every hitter in the lineup, even on the bench, go over their tendencies. And, you know, Osmus is an intelligent guy, right? Dartmouth, Ivy League guy, you know, and he's very keen on cracking jokes, and he's an intelligent guy. It irks you to death, but he would almost lead the meetings a lot of the times because he's a veteran and he knows all the hitters and he speaks most of the time.
And he had the cool face mask. He changed the game with that.
Yeah,
that
exactly,
crazy one.
The hockey.
Yeah,
and we get to Michael Young, and anyways, he says in front of everybody, he goes, "Brandon, you know what Michael Young's batting average is against you?" I said, "No, I have no clue." He said, "He's 9 for 9. He's batting 1,000 off of you right now, so we're probably not going to use you against him." I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Damn, I didn't even know that." No, he was batting 1,000 off of me for the first nine at bats, and so.
Bronson's pretty bad.
And so yeah, he brought that to my attention, so I had to stop that real quick. I focused a little bit harder every time he came to the plate.
You just got to beat him next time up.
Yeah. I think he's down to about 400 now, so I evened out a little bit, but he still got me. And he just got set real early, man. He put that foot down early, so he was loaded up and ready to hit before I was even thinking about throwing the ball to the plate. So if I was out of the windup, I would always go over my head with my hands, and I'd look down at the rubber. I tap my toe and put it into the rubber. It's just my thing, right? And I put that toe. I'd see that toe go in that rubber, and I pull my eyes up to that hitter and look. And when I'm doing that, I look up, and he's already like this. You know, he's ready to hit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I'm going, oh shit, as I'm about to deliver the baseball. And it almost, you know,
which you don't want to be thinking before
nerve wracking. Oh God, here it comes. But yeah, I kind of teach guys to hit like that. Get ready early. Get the foot down. Eliminate movement. Right.
Yeah. Some kids get too busy.
They try to time everything at the same time. Foot down and swing right before, you know. Just put the foot down and swing. You're gonna make solid contact. But no doubt, if you put your foot down and swing at the same time or whatever, you're gonna hit the ball farther, but generate more power. But it's not about that. It's about hitting the ball solid.
Yeah.
And that's what he was worried about. And
put it in
that's
play.
Why he was that was why he's a good hitter. And then David Eckstein, he was just a smaller guy, smaller stature.
Yeah.
God, a little son of a bitch. God, couldn't get it by. Couldn't get it by no matter how hard you threw, no matter how far the ball
He was second
bit.
baseman, right? He was,
yeah, a little second baseman.
Yeah,
Shortstop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so he was tough. Man, he'd whip one into the gap for a double off of you or draw a walk, you know, so he wasn't scared to get hit. So he's just a little pest. And I love him to death. He was a great competitor.
This crazy thing, like, yeah, the big power hitters weren't the problem. It was those good guys that got in your head.
I had some good success against Pujols, you know, and Soriano and Sosa.
I mean, how you pitched almost a complete game, one hitter
against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That what year was that?
2004.
Yeah.
8 innings.
That was a big deal because that team was stacked, man.
Yeah, it was probably the best lineup I ever faced.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that well against them was special. I was on that day, man.
Nice.
It was for the love of the game, man. Clear the mechanism. You know, if you ever seen it, I was out there and I didn't hear a word. I was just me and the mitt. And everything I threw was going right there. Mm-hmm. It was all about this far off the plate every time.
You were pitching that day.
I was pitching that day, not throwing. Yeah, that's right. I was pitching.
Nice.
I was pitching my ass off. It's like I wasn't even. It was an out of body experience, man. I was just living it, dude. I go back and watch that game, and I'm like, man, I don't. You know, it's almost like I don't remember because I was just so focused. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just like a machine, dude. Because Woody Williams was pitching his ass off too. So it was 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. It was in and out of the dugout. I get 3 outs, I go sit down, and next thing you know, it's 2 outs. Like, God, dog, you know, I just got my glove off. Go back out there. It was kind of a good thing because
good rhythm.
Yeah, good rhythm. But I sure would like about 3 or 4 runs, please.
I could raise your dose about 20 milligrams. You can find that focus again.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, it's a bet next week.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
But yeah, man. It's everybody. Another question people say is what hitter I was scared of or whatever, and I'm not scared. I was never scared of any hitter. Didn't matter. I worked my ass off to get there my whole life. I'm not scared of anybody. I'm pitching.
Yeah.
Man. I hope they're scared of me.
Yeah.
Because I might let one go.
No kid.
but yeah. There was tough hitters. But was I nervous or scared? No, I knew who they were. But hey, just kind of trying to focus.
Did you ever, hit a player on purpose?
Never got to.
Okay.
But I had some. That were. They had it coming. There ain't no doubt. There was a couple of them. They're just lucky my career got ended before, because I was coming after them.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love when people get beaned.
Yeah. No doubt.
Good time.
Especially when it's intentional.
I did throw behind Bonds one time on accident. He thought it was on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
He started coming out to the mound.
Oh gosh.
Man, I don't even know what I said. My high school coach was there, actually, Coach Key. His daughter was going to Stanford, and I got him tickets. He wanted to come watch me pitch. So I was like, hell yeah, come on, man, got your tickets. And I forgot he was there at the time. Honestly, this first time I ever faced Bonds.
Yeah.
And the night before, Russ Springer did hit him in the leg, in the knee or whatever, and he was pissed off. And I think they had issues because Russ Springer was a veteran. And so there must have been some kind of bad blood later on or earlier in his career or whatever. And Russ Springer wasn't scared to hit anybody either.
Yeah.
So he dosed him in the knee, and he got mad. And, so then I had the ball the next day, And he comes up, man. It's the first time I ever faced this dude, and it was two. I got to 2-0. No, I got to 1-0. Austin puts down fastball inside. I was like, whew. Here we go. Get it in. Don't leave it over the plate. Just get it in.
Yeah.
All right, get it in. Here we go. I let that ball go. I don't even know if I just let it go. And Brad Osmus caught it behind him.
Oh, shit.
He kind of did the Michael Jackson, and he caught it behind his knees, and he did not like that. He started pointing the bat at me, started walking out. Galveston came out of me, so I started yelling it back at him. I don't know what he said to me, but I told him I didn't do that shit on purpose. Get back in the fucking box. I'm sure he didn't hear me either, but
Nice.
I was walking towards him when I said it. So
Right.
I was just that guy,
gosh.
man. I didn't care. It is what it is.
Do you hear the chirping pretty much? Like people running the bases, you could hear.
Man, when there's we played Washington one time, and they didn't have very many fans at the time, and it was a day game, and I could hear one woman. It's just when there's not that many fans.
Yeah.
At home, when we're playing,
It gets rocking there, man.
yeah, I hear levels of noise, but I don't hear like individual.
We got to get used to not calling it the juice box anymore, dude. It's gonna be weird.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, intentional, being in the batter, but every now and then we'll use a dull needle on a patient too, just because they
Dude.
deserve it.
I believe
This
it.
asshole, he's getting the dull needle today.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Well, we appreciate y'all both coming in.
Yeah, man.
Brandon's been like, it's always fun to chop it up with somebody that's been to that level, man.
Sure.
Like, especially
awesome.
somebody we watched. Like I
Yeah.
said, dude, we knew who you were, and obviously, we got some mutual friends outside of that we came to know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think we both have benefited from KT Wellness, and like I said, I'm always spreading the word, man, trying to help people out.
That's the main thing while we're here, man. KT Wellness and John, he's done a lot. They've done a lot for me. Honestly, man, you've done a lot for me. And we've had this conversation
Thank you.
before. I told you, but for anybody that's out there watching and listening, man, KT Wellness, go to them. They'll help you out. Don't be scared.
Yeah, we're like we talked about passion. I'm very passionate about what I do and helping guys, get back to them old selves again. And that's, I go to bed at night never having a problem going to sleep and waking up ready to do it all over again. So it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
And you could inject all the free stuff into you, man.
All the free stuff I want.
Yeah.
He just got it all in it.
There's something different going in me every day.
What this will do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for that dad bod shot though.
Yeah, hey, dude. I tell people, hey, man, there's no miracle drug out there. You
No.
got to put the work in with it.
That's for sure.
That's the hard.
No, you can't just get the shot and do nothing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But it makes you want to do it,
That's-
right? Like
that's
that's
it.
what we were talking about earlier. It gives me the energy to go out there and not just look at the weights and pass by them. I'll pick them up now.
Yeah,
move
that's
them
right.
around.
Yeah. Well, that's a. I've had a success story we shared before. It's good to hear yours, man. Because like I said,
Yeah.
I think it's not as taboo anymore like it was back in the day. Really, people are more scared of it. They think, oh, you're gonna be an asshole with testosterone. I'm like, no, if you're an asshole before, you're gonna have to be an asshole regardless. I mean, that's just one of those things. Like, if you're a good guy, you're a good guy. I mean, it can.
Well, and a lot of guys too, they just have this misconception that we're treating, between the belly button and the bottom of the butt cheek, and it's really from the top of the head to the tip of the toes is really what we're doing, and that's the goal, And a lot of guys don't know that, still today.
Yeah.
Well, that's the truth, man, and that's the education behind it, right?
Yeah.
You got to know, and I was a little nervous about that because I'm kind of a guy that can be hot headed, and I have not once felt like a raging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've only got my levels back to where they need to be. I'm not overdoing it.
Yeah.
That's why he's so good at what he does. We do the labs. I just did labs today. Took my blood, and we'll figure out where we're at by next week, and give a little bit more or give a little less, whatever it takes. And
Right.
and that's what he does. He makes sure that we're right at the right levels. And so I'm just back to where I need to be, and it feels freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the goal for everybody that goes in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I don't think anybody walks out of there a bad person.
Yeah.
A worse person than what they were. So
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, man.
So,
Thank y'all
always a
again. We
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Yeah, brother.
been fun. Crystal's had a lot of questions, but
Yeah.
You know anything else besides?
she just wants to know if you know Jeff Rancour.
Yeah. That was so long ago. I'm over him.
I'm over here.
I struck him out a couple times.
There we go. See, hey, shit.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine still has a crush on Javier Baez, and he did that kind of nude photo shoot a few years ago. Oh yeah, she goes crazy over him.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, man.
All right.
We're good.
Thank
Thank y'all.
All right, man. Thank you, guys.
All right.